Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling In The Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fanfiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss any episodes or bonus content. If you love what we do and want an easy way to show your support, please consider leaving us a positive, that's all the stars, rating on your favourite listening platform. It helps SPN and fanfic lovers find us and share in the fun. I'm Kasey.
I'm Sandra, and we're doing another Tags and Tropes episode today.
Woo!
Yay! This one is a little different because we ran a poll in our Discord server asking members to choose the next topic for Tags and Tropes. And I had Body Swap, which I was keen on doing. I think I had Dead Dove. There was another one, I can't remember exactly. But this one, just everybody was all about it. And it's Hurt Comfort. Ran away with the choice, which was interesting because I will call out the Discord just for a little bit because what I usually do is I then go, okay, guys, here's Tags and Tropes coming up. Please send me your fic rec so that then we can share it in our Discord and stuff later and have people talk about it. For some reason, it took people a little while to actually add to this one. I think we had a couple in the beginning when I first said it, but then I had to go again and then I had to go again. So yeah, we got 2 8:30. We got a bunch 8:31, and then it was crickets. I'm like, wait, there's usually a lot of people. So I did it again, and Mass was like, Mass was
like, I got you, fam.
Mass didn't remember though whether or not she'd done it. I was like, no, I don't have anything from you, Mass, and I usually do. So Mass was great. Mass supplied, Sal supplied, a whole bunch of people. We'll talk about it later, but we have a whole bunch of fics to share. I'm usually greedy. I'm a greedy little goblin usually. And I'm like, no, you have to join in our Discord. But we got so many responses that what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this link to the final form, the list of fics into this document so that people can just click away and see what's going on with all of our Discord members.
You're so good to the people.
I try.
Everyone say thank you, Sandra.
Oh, Olivia's listening. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it from beyond. I can hear it all happening right now. So anyway, what do we do in a Tags and Tropes episode? We tackle a fanfic category, a genre, or subject matter. We break down some stats. We share our thoughts. We discuss a couple of fics, not a couple, that are prime examples of the topic. At the end of all that, or somewhere in between, we let you know whether it's a gib or a hard pass for us. So, Hurt Comfort. This is, by far, one of the broadest categories that you can possibly fit anything. It's literally considered a fan work genre. Involves physical pain or emotional distress of one character who is cared for by another character. The injury, sickness, or other kind of hurt allows an exploration of the characters and their relationship. This is a big umbrella, and we're going to talk about stats so you can even get an idea later on. But, Kasey, Hurt Comfort, do you think you write this a lot? Again, it's broad.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Early on in my writing career, I would have said no.
Mm-hmm.
But now, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, this is, for me, I think, because it doesn't just need to be a physical situation. It could be an emotional situation. So I think myself, I lean more towards the emotional aspect of Hurt Comfort than I do necessarily physical. I'm sure I've written some stuff where there's been things in there, but for me, and maybe this is more about what we write too, that kind of because you always talk about, one of the things I think you really love about Winchester is the fact that they can throw each other around, and there could be a lot of hurt aspects to physical hurt aspects to that I think, again, not necessarily that in a reader or OFC fic that I think I would go more emotional just from that. It could be a fallout or something that occurs from one or the other that the partner doesn't have anything to do with. But for me, I feel it's definitely more emotional, probably, that I tackle on that as well. But that all wraps itself up into angst. I mean, there's so much stuff.
It's like, if y'all thought Omegaverse was big, this is fucking bigger.
What did some of our Discord say about this? Because we were like, okay, we had a lot of information that people were like, I don't understand. Like, we don't either. That's why we're open to talk about it.
So it's when Sandra gives like a nudge, a couple of days before we record, just like, hey, reminder, we're doing this weekend. This is your last call for the Google form. So Crowley's mistress, who obviously is in our Discord server, responded to this and said, yeah, I haven't wrecked anything because I don't really know what it means. The comfort part, at least. Shrug emoji. Like, there is a momentary there. Like, there is a momentary there. Let me put you back together. But nothing can really make things all right. I'll be learning with your episode. Which is, that's... No. Nope, we're also learning. This is the blind leading the blind. And then a little bit more, like a little bit more of an exchange went across. And she said again, yeah, I still don't understand the tag. The AU Rome was built on ruins. I believe someone had shared like a whole bunch of links. So this was in relation to one of the links that had been shared. I guess a little more. Dean has a broken leg and likes to be taken care of, but the Lucifer fic, Snow on Snow, is just regular angsty fic that I love and have tons bookmarked, but I don't see any comfort. So I have to say there's another Discord comment that I'm gonna touch on, but I do have to say I think the concept of hurt comfort is very dependent on your personal tolerance for angst. And if you like your fics dark and gritty and angsty, you may find yourself in a place going, what comfort? What, we don't do comfort here. What is it? No. You know? Whereas if you like your fics more on the, lighter, fluffier side, then I think that's a bit easier to kind of understand that, okay, someone has an ouchie and we fix the ouchie.
I think too, because we were talking about this with the amnesia trope, that it all builds together to provide a revelation. So I think the comfort part has to help with that revelation part of like relationship and stuff. And if you don't have that in a very angsty fic where maybe there's no resolution, I'm thinking about, we were talking about Carly's Mistress, like Black Valentine that I narrated. I mean, that's a Kara Roberts, Sam Winchester get together, Lucifer background, like post Cage and all of this stuff. And I mean, quite frankly, there's so much hurt and there's so much angst, but maybe in a very small, minute moment for Sam, there's comfort, but it doesn't end with any major revelation that I feel would be satisfactory. Do you know what I mean? Like for Sam, even for Kara Roberts, maybe for Lucifer, who knows? Like, like him being like, yep, still got it. I'm still in this dude's brain. Like that. That's not even comfort, but it's the revelatory part of, I think, is very dependent on their hurt. They're comforted by the person that they want, or maybe don't realize until it happens, that they want a more robust relationship with, and what that ends up turning into, I think, is a part of the comfort, or has to be there with the comfort, in my mind. So that's me. But I am not about the physical part unless major hurt. I don't know. Maybe I am, and I'm not recalling. I can't remember. We'll talk about it more.
So just another comment from Discord here, which was Jackie Jinkies. Would you look at this? There were a couple of fics. There were a couple that I remember reading, but now cannot seem to find. I can do words, guys. Where one of the boys was hurt/sick, and they ended up holed up in a cabin somewhere while the other took care of them. Those are what I typically think of when I think hurt comfort. I think the one I ended up sharing is more emotional hurt comfort, though. Again, I can't find the two I immediately thought of. So I think the hurt comfort tag on AO3 encompasses a lot of things, because there's emotional hurt comfort. And then there's hurt comfort and angst. It covers. And I learned this when I was trying to find fics of mine, because this is so fucking broad, and there's no right way to do it. We couldn't we looked at it and we went, we're not picking fics from other people to talk about. So we decided to go through our own fics, because we've both written this tag, and pick one fic of ours and one fic of the other person's. And then we'll talk about those, because we love talking about ourselves, guys. I have Narcissus in the little Zoom squares, my like. When I was looking through mine, and there were things that I'd have to go back and check now, but I don't think Quarter After One was there. wherein which Dean literally gets his ass beat with a belt. But also there's emotional hurt comfort in that. So yeah, what I found out was that I had not written anything that I had tagged just hurt
comfort. Yeah, because I did that with yours. When I went through it pulled out. So basically, like, again, like hurt comfort, I think is like the canonical tag, but they end up like funneling a lot of other things that people.
Yeah, it's an umbrella tag.
Yeah.
I think perfect balance might be on there.
I was okay. Yeah, when I was looking at your stuff.
I don't even know who picked.
Because again, when I was looking at your stuff, I was like, well, I see the hurt in this. In perfect balance. I was like, but I was really struggling to see the comfort. But again, I think that's because I'm not in that dark, because it's a little too, it leans so dark for me that I can see where they're finding
end of the fic.
I can see where they're finding the comfort. Kasey, it's been a long time. I just remember a lot of the hurt and then what they were doing.
Sandra's like, I remember you made them fuck nasty in a warehouse full of bodies. That is what I remember. And I remember that Sam punched Dean in the face. Yes, and that is true.
There was a butt plug.
All of those things are true. But
I remember.
The things Sandra took from my fic.
Things stuck out in my brain that probably the comfort was completely overshadowed. So I apologize if there was obvious comfort at the end of that. It has been a while.
That's the kind of thing that I would put in like a, like the forward of a book or something, or like a book dedication. Things Sandra remembers from this story. They fuck nasty in a warehouse filled with bodies on a floor covered in blood. Sam punches Dean in the face. There's a butt plug. I find the author's notes. That's great. No, the whole, yes, they fuck nasty and they fist fight and Dean headbutts Sam in the face and Sam punches him. And there is knife play. There is a lot of physical hurt in that fic. It is consensual physical hurt.
Right.
But there is a lot of physical hurt. But then on the end of which Sandra apparently forgot, because she was like, oh my God, you punched my baby in the face. Holy shit, there's a butt plug. What the fuck? At the end of that, after everybody's got off, after everybody's nutted, Sam immediately switches to aftercare and comfort mode and like wraps Dean up and carries him out. And there's aftercare there, there's comfort there, but apparently it slipped Sandra by when she was being like face punches and butt plugs.
Yeah, I guess so. I think for me too, like when I think of hurt comfort, I almost think of it as like the start of the relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like something that then jettisons them into what they need to be aware of, kind of a situation. So I think with this, for you, they were already established. It was already a thing. So their hurt comfort balance was, again, because it's more on the darker, I think I just focused on that. I've narrated this for Kasey, by the way, and that's like, this is one of those ones where I have to go back and listen to it, and it's not one we've ever shared. So I don't know if it would ever be one you'd want me to put out there again. I didn't know if I did it enough justice at the time, so I probably have to go back and listen to it as well. But
you did, but you were like, I did this as a present for you.
Yeah. So maybe that's because that's where my head goes with hurt comfort. So that could be it too. You know what I mean?
So I think sick fics tends to come under hurt comfort as well, but I don't tend to read that many of them.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I want to be like, I don't write particularly violent fics.
It was just dark. It was a very dark one. I mean, it was Dark Chester's.
Balance.
Yeah.
Perfect balance was Dark Chester's. But there's violence in Demonic Junkies a little bit.
If you're going to tell me there's hurt comfort in that, I'm still waiting for the comfort.
Everyone's still waiting for the comfort. Yeah.
You gave us all the hurt. I'm waiting for the comfort part. So, but there are moments.
No, I was thinking of physical hurt. That's why I was just thinking out loud. I was thinking of physical hurt.
There is comfort I think there's comfort during the withdrawal, right? Like,
yeah.
But I think that's still a struggle.
See, that would, that's like a sick fic almost, though, isn't it? Like Sam is legitimately physically unwell.
Yeah.
And Dean cares for him. I'm trying to think.
I feel like it's not balanced enough. There's way too much hurt there.
No, absolutely not. No,
for that to be a hurt comfort, I think.
No, I wouldn't. Junkies does not come under hurt comfort.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of being like, do I write really violent fics? Because I was like, yeah, Perfect Balance is hella violent. There's violence in Junkies, but not a great deal, I don't think. There's Sam punches Dean in the face.
No. It's just more, yeah, it just hurts me. Physically hurt. No, I wasn't physically hurt. I was emotionally hurt by demonic junkies.
Emotionally hurt.
Yeah.
And then there's no, there's not violence in Sense of Home either. That's emotional hurt comfort.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the variations too, because I think this is important, because I think this gets into maybe how things could be tagged or like how people approach it. Because in variations, hurt comfort may be abbreviated as capital H/capital C. If the emphasis is on the hurt aspect of the story, then capital H lowercase c may be used instead. I think this is where I've seen this in, like, if they do dom sub stuff, like, isn't that a thing too?
You capitalize the D and the S is lowercase, yes.
If there is absolutely no comfort and a lot of hurt, then the term hurt/hurt has been, maybe you should tag it that way. Have you done hurt/hurt?
No.
Hurt/hurt has been used. The amount of hurt portrayed may edge into torture. Again, see, this is where I think it's so broad. Another subgenre of hurt/comfort with lowercase comfort. However, not all character torture fans think of it as a H/C subgenre, as the comfort part may not be important at all in some torture fic, and the aim is not to hurt the character for an equal or surpassing comfort payoff, as is the case with much HC fic. I think that's it. It's the payoff.
Yeah, see, me. I wouldn't consider, if I wrote a fic that warranted a torture tag, I wouldn't say that was a hurt comfort fic.
But some people apparently probably would.
Unless on the opposite side of that, unless character A was tortured by a third party and then character B comes in to do the comfort.
Okay. Is that something you're writing?
It's not torture.
Not torture, but it's something you're writing that's doing that. You're writing something literally now that you've told me the premise of it.
Yes. I am currently working on something where character A is involved with a third party and the third party does not treat them very well, and character B comes in at the end to provide comfort.
And you are going to tag it her comfort then, right? See, we're workshopping right now.
It's not exactly hurt though.
Is it emotional hurt?
No, character A is not deliberately hurt by the third party.
Read the next line under variations that I where I didn't read it. Where it says
depending on the fandom or the author, hurt comfort stories may also encompass BDSM elements to varying degrees. So that is what it is. Character A is in a BDSM scene with a third party. Everyone is happy with the scene. Everyone knows it's all good. But then said third party does not provide appropriate aftercare, and character B finds character A in a bit of a state and provides appropriate aftercare. So I don't know if that would come under hurt comfort, because it's not, I want to specify, this is not like an impact play scene or anything like that. It's rough oral is what it is, but there's not, I mean, I suppose rough oral can constitute physical physical injury, but it's not, I don't know. I'm definitely going to tag it bad BDSM etiquette, but I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end.
I feel like I've narrated a lot of hurt comfort. You know what I mean? So I think I've narrated that more than maybe necessarily. I have like sickness stuff, like different things like that. Like Liata, who writes a lot of Sabriel. I feel like with the Hani Haka disease, and then like I just recently narrated something. Is that the
flower thing?
Yes. And then I narrated another one, First Cold, where Gabriel was sick and Sam was taking care of Gabriel. I'm thinking too of like maybe like Sal's the wing kink thingy. I think that might have been one. There's one I just recently narrated for Mass where Sam gets turned into a moose, and there's this hurt/comfort of like, you know, Dean taking care of Sam, you know, and again it's a Jen story, so there's nothing. So I think it may
we've
got a lot of people that like to write this that we know, I think, in some way, shape, or form.
I think my perception is skewed, I think, because I almost exclusively read explicit material because I'm a filthy deviant.
No.
And I think maybe this is more prevalent. Physical hurt comfort is more prevalent in Gen and teen, you know, characters getting sick and being cared for and that kind of thing.
Because there's wumping that they talk about, which
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, the term wumping or wump refers to a form of H/C that is heavy on the hurt and often focuses on Gen stories. It's talking about like some X-Files fandom, Mulder torture, and X-Files fandom similar. So
I will read stuff that is tagged wump, but it has to also be tagged with happy ending. You know, and like angst with a happy ending. Some variation of happy ending. I don't like, which is funny considering junkies. I don't like reading a story where one character gets the hell beat out of them, you know, physically or metaphorically, and then is just left there. I don't like that. I like, please fix this. Which again is funny when you consider junkies.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy fics where someone is, you know, physically or metaphorically beat on for no real reason.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Because like I said, everybody's got their the thing that they seem to gravitate towards. I mean, apparently this has been, so they were talking about too, and again, I'm getting all this from fan lore that we'll provide in the document, but it says brief history. It began as a get 'em. Hurt comfort is one of the earliest genres of fan fiction. Originally, they were called get stories. Get Spock, get Kirk. The first get stories had no sexual content and were often light on the comfort.
Your poor babies.
Yeah, so I think it's...
require.
But we've talked about this before, and this is a quote from a fan back in like 1981 on the popularity of this, where a very simple reason lies in our social culture, where males are not supposed to show feelings and homosexual relationships are frowned upon as unnatural and perverted. So when is it acceptable to show emotions? Well, when someone is hurt. It is unkind to be unfeeling, so then real emotions can be shown, possibly pent-up ones saved from other times.
Isn't it fucking sad that that was a remark that was made in 1981?
Yeah.
And it still very much holds true and applies today. That's very fucking sad.
Yeah.
That's like 40 years of sadness.
Yeah. So I think we've got examples. I think Jackie was talking about like a cabin one, like this isolation where they have to rely on each other. And I know, I mean, like I said, I've read a ton, I think, that are like this, where they have to become the caretaker of the other. And I mean, when we're talking about Sam and Dean, I mean, there's so much of that. There's so much possibility of that in fan fiction or in canon where they've done that I think HC is just a logical thing that a lot of people are going to, like when they get hurt on a case.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily see like very vividly comes to mind. I mean, Faith, but very vividly comes to mind. I think it's Heaven and Hell, where they jump out of the window to escape Alistair, and then the next scene you see them.
I know what you did last summer.
Is that I know what?
Yes,
all right,
is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Them. I was in that place.
you were almost there. You're just off by one.
The very, very sexy imagery of Jared stitching up or Sam stitching up his arm. And then Dean being like, "You want to hurry it up? I've got a dislocated shoulder over here." But it's very bare bones and militant, you know? It's like, just give me a fucking minute and then crunch and then ice pack. And there's no like, you okay?
Yeah.
You know? And like, that's what we see through the show, which is obviously how John taught them, raised them, taught them that, you know, you don't acknowledge the pain. You just get up and you just move on. You know, you just work through it. So I can absolutely see why when we see Sam and Dean in this profession that requires them to get the absolute hell beaten out of them every fucking week, that you would want to see that kind of stuff. And also because they're so emotionally constipated. It's terrible. It's just terrible. You kind of want to just smash them together and be like, fucking be nice.
Well,
babe.
And if we're talking about like the het aspect of fanfic, like I can see, and I've read so many of these too, where like, you know, reader's a hunter,
no.
right? but Reader's a hunter, like maybe in the bunker with the boys and like takes care of them after, and like the revelation or like different things like that, or like Dean's hurt or Sam's hurt, and it gets them together in a situation where like finally the feelings and the emotions come out. Like I'm just thinking of it that way in terms of that aspect of it.
And we've certainly both of us written stories where the boys are maybe hunter adjacent, or the reader insert isn't a hunter but the boys are, and it's and caring for them with the awful stuff that they see.
So I think that's when maybe I would lean more on there's a little bit of hurt, but let me give it a lot of comfort after. So I think that's when I would do smaller H, big C. Like I think that's where I like to go. Unless we're talking more emotional stuff, and then I might go back and forth with them quite a bit and like just keep hammering that kind of stuff. Like
everything that I looked at that was tagged hurt comfort was either angst hurt and comfort or emotional hurt comfort. That's more kind of, that makes more sense to me based on the stuff that I read. Where they're like just dealing with life and it's fucking hard and they find comfort in each other.
Well, I think the next bit, and I want you to read this because I think this, I think we're going to, I'm seeing one of the things.
We've established that I can't read today.
The eroticization of nurturance. I think there's, where it says C, I think we need to, like, that has to be one of the things we have to talk about in Tags of Tropes. But start with the thing under there.
Hurt comfort often plays a specific role in the plot of Slash. Hurt in first-time Slash stories generally exists to make one the caretaker of the other, often isolating the two of them together. I find that such an interesting tangent. I find that really interesting because that is so common that they are isolated, cabin in the woods, whatever. And I think that's such an interesting societal comment on how men are only allowed to be vulnerable out of view of other people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm sure no author has ever written that, or very few authors have ever written it with that intent. But, maybe subconsciously there's a comfort in putting your characters somewhere where they cannot be observed. I think it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Which breaks down both physical and mental boundaries between them, which leads to realizations about each other, which leads to Slash. See, magical healing cock.
We talk about that so much that we have to make that a Tags and Tropes, I think, at some point, because
I don't think I've ever written a magical healing cock story.
But it'd be interesting, right? Like I think we should.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, I think we should. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things about intimate topics. Slash. There's a whole. There are links. People.
Fanfiction and fan communities in the age of the internet. Elizabeth Woolidge writes, Hurt/comfort provides a plausible way for any author to depict increasing closeness between two men, because when the hero is hurt, he's at his most vulnerable. The element of hurt permits him to share intimacies that would otherwise be kept private. This is breaking my heart. But that's so Dean.
That's so Dean. That's Dean Winchester all over. So, I mean, I could see in various different ways, whether it's Jen, whether it's explicit, that people are just going to, use that to break him down, you know what I mean, and get him to open up.
I definitely think there's something like, like in the show, Sam and Dean always get like thrown into walls and stuff because you have to soften them up a little bit for the monsters to have a chance.
It's like marinating them. Yeah.
It's kind of similar vibes though, isn't it? Like you have to injure one of them to make them
realize what they might lose, or realize what they might lose. I always come to that. Yeah.
To be intimate with each other, even like platonic intimacy, like how often have we seen the, oh my God, you're not dead hug on Supernatural? They only ever hug when, I'm thinking specifically of that. Oh, I can't remember what fucking season it is, but the GIF is everywhere when you type in like J2 hug or Supernatural hug. It's where Sam's sitting at the table and Dean comes and hugs him from behind and like doesn't kiss his head, but maybe a little bit kisses his head. Oh. And he's like, good night, Sammy. And Sam is immediately up out of the chair like, what is happening? What is going on? What have you done?
That's when he's getting ready to think he's got to put himself in the Malik box.
I thought it was that, yeah. Yeah. And he, like, you can see him wrestle with it, but in the end, he's like, I gotta say goodbye. But Sam's on it. Like, whoa, that's an I'm about to die hug. What the fuck have you done?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, heaven forbid, bros platonically hug
Well,
Heaven forbid.
I think that's one of the nice things that I think we're talking about the actors now, that I think they've broken. I think they break
I
that
love
taboo.
that. Yeah.
You know, like because they are very like they hug, they touch, they, you know, there's a whatever anybody wants to make out of that, but there's a vulnerability to that, and there's a willingness to share space with another male and be like, no, I care for you. I'm going to show that. And I think that's lovely to see.
I think, and I know Jensen likes his grumpy stage persona, but I've never seen Jared reach for him and Jensen not be there.
Yeah.
You know, Jared instigates a lot of the stuff, and it's, you know, that's their shtick, and they play to it and stuff like that. But I've never seen Jared reach for Jensen and him not be there.
Yeah.
Ever, which I think is truly, truly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are so many things to be grateful about this show and this fandom. The way that they have normalized platonic soulmates is truly, truly beautiful.
It is beautiful.
You know? And like the whole, this is not the first time we've been friends. Oh my God, guys, could you be less cute, please? I'm dying. I love them so much.
But we were talking about platonic and like Jen stuff. And so, it doesn't always have to lead to, it could be eroticized in certain contexts, but then a lot of it is just like they give examples of like medicinal snuggling, like, you know, hypothermia. One sleeping bag.
I've read a fair few, but they're not Jen.
General bed sharing.
Oh my God, there was only one bed.
Yeah. Jen bathing, which I know this doesn't lead, but I'm thinking about one of your Sam Reader ones where she washes his hair, brushes his hair after. Like, that's,
dating Sam Winchester had a true hurt comfort tag on it. Yeah, it did. He breaks his arm and she looks after him. Yeah.
I think so those are like, you know, moments when there's comfort, but it's not necessarily, you know, necessarily related to her
intimacy, but it's not.
That's the word.
Sexual intimacy.
So trope elements you might find in HC: amnesia, which I can't remember if this is coming before or after, guys. Forgive me. Brain damage, coma, presumed dead, torture. And then I highlighted something because I found it. You'll Thank Me When It's Wednesday is a Jen 190-page supernatural anthology with stories and artwork related to mystery spots. The ultimate HC episode ? Which I think you could say yes. This zine
that's a wump episode.
Yeah,
that's a wump episode for real.
This zine was published in May of 2008. Mystery Spot premiered on February 14th of 2008. So
hey, you say what you want about this fandom, but they get shit done.
They get shit done. So I just thought that was very interesting when I read that. AO3 stats and notes. I did this on August 30th, so it's about not quite a month since that. And again, Hurt Comfort is the canonical tag, master tag for a group of other tags. Angst, Hurt Comfort, Angst and Hurt Comfort is a tag, which I know Kasey's used. Emotional Hurt/Comfort, which I think I might have used and Kasey's used.
I've used, yeah.
Fluff and Hurt/Comfort, I might have used. I can't remember.
I might have used that one, yeah.
And Mild Hurt/Comfort, I might have used that.
So we remember all of our works, guys.
We think. So number of fics with related Hurt Comfort tags was 1 million. It was over 1,500,000 out of the 15, almost 16 million at the time. So that's about 10%, around 10%. That's by far the most popular tag that we've talked about yet. It's even bigger than Omegaverse, which I thought was pretty big. But this one, again, it's so broad. So many things can get tagged under it. So for Supernatural fandom, under Supernatural itself, it's at about 9% of the 307,000 fics. So it ranked number 5 in fandoms tagged with Hurt Comfort. Supernatural RPF, still about the same. It hovered at about 8%. So not as many fics, but still around the same amount of Hurt Comfort. Yeah. And again, I've included a table. So I don't know if anything stands out for you. I tell you what does stand out to me.
Actually, the warnings. So we're talking about Hurt Comfort, and for both Supernatural and Supernatural RPF, the no archive warnings apply warning is the most popular.
Mm.
And I find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm like, you think like, again, maybe
Maybe
it's
not
all the
graphic.
explicit content.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's graphic depictions of violence or rape non-con, something like.
Mhm.
I would expect one of the big warnings to be higher than that, but it is literally no archive warnings apply. Creator chose not to use archive warnings, and then graphic depictions of violence, and it's a big fucking jump for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that did really surprise me. And just another thing that I think is interesting in Supernatural, it goes, so this is in descending order of popularity. So teen and up, general, explicit, mature, not rated. And it is like almost the exact opposite for RPF. So for RPF, it's explicit, mature, teen, general, not rated. Yeah, it is. It is literally reversed. I just think that's so fucking funny. That's so interesting.
Yeah, and even the categories. I mean, you know, for Supernatural, it's male, male, then it's Gen, and it's female, male. In Supernatural RPF, it's male, male, female, male, Gen, which, okay. Like, I don't know, Supernatural RPF, I would think maybe female, male wouldn't be, I don't know, like wouldn't be in there as much. So I don't know.
There's a fair bit of wife content in there, or
that's
Jared
true.
and Jensen have wives and also seeing each other, and you know stuff like that is quite common because you know some people write like in an AU space where the wives don't exist, but some people write in spaces where the wives do. I mean, every J2 fic is an AU by dint of it being about a real person.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's where people choose to place them.
Right. Yeah. And then I mean, I think characters, I kind of find it cute that Bobby is like number 4 in Supernatural because I feel like Bobby is so much a part of the comfort part of it that I'm glad to see that because it's like Dean, Sam, Cass, Bobby. I feel like it's like Bobby's in there because I feel like I know I've narrated fics where Bobby kind of comes in to kind of like be that revelatory or just that moment of comfort that they need within. And we've talked about so many fics that are like that. I think it's just a part of the family, the building family dynamic that they have, that I think he would be a big part of those stories, you know, to some degree. So, because Jim Beaver's not listed at all. Side of
it. It's just Bobby.
So I found that interesting too. But yeah, was there anything else that really stood out?
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah. I did not do. Kasey was on.
You're supposed to do you.
Kasey was on it. I know, but I couldn't. I couldn't. Kasey was on it about picking a fic before I did because again, we were like, maybe we should just focus on stuff we've done because it's so broad that I wouldn't have even known where to look. I feel like we would have gone in completely different aspects of it.
It's too big of a space for us to do our usual thing and pick like, you know, some good examples of it. And I think because it's very subjective as well. Like Omegaverse was big, but it tends to hold to some solid principles. And if it doesn't, they're variations on those principles. But this is just like, you know, hurt comfort, someone's got like a cold or something versus someone is actively being tortured. Like it's an enormous breadth. So we were like, okay, well, we've both written this. So let's look at what we've done.
Do you want to talk about your picks? And I'll add one. I'll add one from mine, but I'll probably just literally just pick a series because I feel like that's probably just, you know, it's probably got everything in it. So yeah.
Okay. So the picks that I did, then they were both, well, mine rather was tagged emotional hurt comfort, I think. But the fic of my own that I picked is called In the Dark. And it's a reader Dean fic. And it's just like a little one shot where Dean comes back from a hunt and he's like all kinds of messed up. And the reader just is caring for him, you know, just like trying to be helpful. And he's kind of like snappy and snarly. And then he, you know, it's like
he gives in. Does he give in?
He compresses. He does. Yeah. And he like lets them kind of like, you know, snuggle him and look after him and, you know, go to bed. And it's very much that kind of like very domestic kind of, I've had a shitty day
Mm-hmm.
and the other person is like, let me take care of you, but obviously the supernatural.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think it's dedicated to Sandra, but it was probably very much written with Sandra in mind, because most of my Dean fics are written with Sandra in mind. To be fair, I'd stand for me, Dean for you, mostly. Apart from, maybe not the Dean Kink ones. They might be a little bit for me.
I think they're a little bit for you.
Irrelevant. But yeah, no, it's just a cute little fic that I just a million fucking years ago that I threw out. And then the fic by Sandra that I picked it's part of a 2-part series called Fire and Ice. And this is the fire part of it, and it's called Just a Little Spice. And this actually features physical hurt comfort, because Dean is an idiot and attempts to cook with some of Sam's witchy spell ingredients and kind of fucking blows up the kitchen a little bit. But in the process of causing like a not insignificant pan fire, manages to trip up and brain himself and knock himself out. So Sandra's reader insert character comes home to find the bunker full of smoke and Dean literally fucking unconscious on the kitchen floor. Like literally bodily hauls him out of the kitchen. Deals with the fire, calls Sam and is like, real quick, what about this? And Sam was like, oh, he didn't. Oh, he did though. And it ends with the reader being like, you get your ass back in there and you fucking clean up that mess, goddammit. And like, oh my god, why? But it's real cute. It's I think is it mature maybe? Might not even.
Yeah, I mean, it might even just be teen, because that was not that one. There was nothing. Yeah,
it's the ice part that's got the smut in it.
Yeah, because I
that
had
one that's got the smut.
I think those came up with it was during Jackal's verse bingo. So those were 2 prompts.
Yeah. And the prompt for this one was, I would burn down the world. Which is,
he was being so like melodramatic after she was
being
at him.
so intense, because she was yelling at him, you almost burned down the kitchen. And he's like, I would burn down the world for you. Like, Dean, dial it back like fucking 8 notches, bro. Well, you almost burned down the kitchen.
He was trying to bring levity to it, right? And she wasn't having any of it, but he was also
she was not. None of Sandra's reader insert characters take any of Dean's bullshit. None of her original female characters either do.
You've said mine do. You've said Julie does.
I've said Julie needs to spank that boy on the ass more. But she still doesn't take his bullshit. She just should yell more.
Gotcha.
She's very good with a stern eyebrow. She doesn't take his shit. I just feel like maybe she would feel better about her life if she yelled occasionally. She's very reasonable.
Yeah.
But she don't take his shit. And this reader
that was fun.
Don't take Dean's shit either. It's really good. Again, it's quite short. But really, really cute, really good. Enormous fan.
So
let's talk about me.
Yeah, because I went and I was just like, let me just go through Kasey's. And we were talking about this before, and you had mentioned Nightmare, which is it's emotional hurt comfort, Sam.
Because I was going to give you Sandra's had a week, okay? So I was like, okay, we'll take In the Dark then. Like you can have it. It's like it was for you, in some capacity. I'll do Nightmare, and then she was like, no, I really like Nightmare. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because it's basically Sam's having nightmares and the reader's taking care of him through it. And I mean, I think that's one of the tropiest, I think, things you can say when you're talking about, hurt comfort. Like, you're there for the person as they're dealing with, but I think this was tagged emotional hurt comfort. So, but to me, it's like being there to take care of him, to help him through it, or just like, just to be in the moment present with him. I thought that was a very sweet. Is that part of the cottage verse? It's part of the cottage verse, right? Or is it a different one? Is it dating? Okay.
No, it's part of the cottage.
Because I love that story in general, where you just like little bits of their lives and just peeking in. And this is one of the more, tragic aspects of what Sam's dealing with, as a hunter.
Yeah, this is like
stuff. Yeah.
I don't think I explicitly say Sam Winchester has PTSD, but Sam Winchester has PTSD in that fic. Yeah, actually, I had a lot of fun writing that. It was it's a very, very early fic of mine, and it was the first one that doesn't have smut in it. I think it's rated mature for language, but it doesn't have any smut in it. I tried to put smut in it, but it just
didn't feel right.
It wasn't. There was no space for it in that story, so it's just a real cute reader being #bestest.
This one is just close to my heart because I feel like this is when Kasey reached across the pond for something when I was going through something and wrote something for me that was emotional hurt comfort for Dean/reader, and it's Lost in Love. And it's basically just, readers lost something, right? And he's just there to comfort. It's very short, but it's so sweet. It's all the things I would want Dean Winchester to do for me in a moment, where I think it would break down his walls a little bit, and he'd be more willing to show his comfort and his care for he's more willing to do that for other people. And I think probably for women, females, he's probably
for women. I don't think he has as much of a problem.
You see more of that softer side of him. And I think that was just the sweetest. It's more because it was so much emotional comfort that Kasey was giving me that I think it's very sweet. To read that again. Yeah.
Sandra had suffered a bereavement.
My kitty was gone.
Poor baby.
And I'd had her for 17 years, and still to this day, I mean, it's almost 4 years, and I'm just like, every once in a while, but it's better, right? But it was during like the grieving, immediate grieving process of that. Yeah.
I wrote that within a couple of hours of Sandra telling me the news, because I was like, we're a fucking ocean apart. I can do nothing.
Yeah.
I cannot nip round with a bottle of wine. I can't give you a hug. I can't, as so often when it comes to bereavements, I can't bring cafe back for you.
Yeah.
That was all I could do in that moment, because I was compelled to do something. That fic has a special place in my heart as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think it's just really, really cute, really sweet. I still love that you did that for me. So I appreciate you so much for that. I think the other one that stood out to me, and this is one of the first ones this is the first one of yours I narrated, and I think this is where maybe the BDSM elements come into play with this too. But this is Angst and Hurt Comfort, and it's Sam/reader, and it's Need. And it's after what was like the hunt was bad, really bad.
The hunt went bad, really bad. Sam needs you. He needs.
And I think that's when it's talking about the dynamic of the relationship and how knowing when to provide the comfort, when to provide, I guess, a little bit of the hurt that he needs to feel stuff. Yeah. Right. Like there's a lot of layers. In the second chapter,
there's definitely a, the hurt is that. But I suppose even in the first chapter, like the hurt comes externally. So the hurt comes from a third party, a third, a separate place, a bad hunt.
However the bad, yeah.
Yeah, and then Reader is providing the comfort. But then in the second chapter, Reader also provides some of the physical hurt, because, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to be taken out of your head in that manner.
I still, the opening to that is still one of my favorite things that you've written, because it's so sensory, and it's, again, like, the relationship that the reader has with Sam, just by sound of footsteps, how they're interacting in another part of the bunker, the sounds, she knows something's going on. And to be at that level with a person that, when how they come home, how they shut the door, how they, how they're walking down, towards a room, it's just all of these moments, how they're talking to each other, the whispers or the moments, like all of those things. It's so evocative, and it just brings, like, she's ready, she doesn't quite know, but she knows she knows there's something she's going to have to deal with. And she does, in the way that works for the both of them in their relationship. And it's still one of my favorites, even though it's one of the earlier ones, because it's just, I was just like, I can feel it, you know what I mean? And I really do love that part of it, because, again, knowing your partner so well, just by that, and then giving them what they need. I think the hurt comfort in that bounces back and forth again, but it works, I think, for that when they talk about the erotic, maybe part of it and the BDSM part of it, like that, those kinds of things, what they're doing for each other. Because Sam gives her things that she needs as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a balance to it.
Yeah.
That I think is just really good. I just, that's one of my favorites. One of my favorites of yours.
Thank you.
Will always be one of my favorites.
I'm gonna give a shout out to View to a Winchester as well as Some Sunny Day series, not specifically View to a Winchester, Some Sunny Day, because I think there's plenty of emotional hurt.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's an ongoing emotional hurt comfort saga.
But it's not like it's not one event that you can go, okay, this is the hurt and this is the comfort. It's and that's not to say that it's not a One Piece series by any stretch of the imagination, but it's two people learning to love each other. And it's two people with pasts, and it's two people with baggage, and it's two people with, prickly edges sometimes. And, sometimes they hurt each other, and it's never with malice, but the hurt is still there. And then they work through it. And it's, like I said, Sandra's never written a female character that takes Dean Winchester's shit. Ever. But the way you write Dean is so truly authentic to, like, your Dean is one of my favorite Deans ever. But it's so authentic to the show, where he is still very full of bravado and, like kind of puffs himself up to hide his insecurities. And, Julie takes none of it. Just none of it. But there's like, oh God, and everyone's so disgustingly well adjusted. They have conversations. That's gross, guys. But like you sort of see Dean falling back on those old patterns of lying and, and deflecting and being like, no, everything's fine. And then Julie's like, fucking no, you stop that right now. Stop it. And it is one of my favorite series.
Yeah.
Series I don't know. Someone tell me what the plural of series is. Series is.
I like going back to them too, because again, like the whole premise of it was, what happens to Dean when all of this is done and they both survive, and with the understanding, in this situation, Sam's moved on with Eileen. They're not physically together, and what does that do to him? And I think you see that, and how he tries to adjust, and then he does give a little bit of himself to somebody. And what does that look like? They're with every relationship.
How does he learn to bring down those walls?
You've got progress, and then you fall back, and you've got more progress, and then you fall back, and it's like it's as you hit another obstacle, or how do you deal with it? How do your usual safe ways of dealing with stuff kick in? So it's just for me, it's a fun, even though it's not always the fun topic, but it's fun to explore them learning more about each other, because I do think that when we've been around the earth long enough, hopefully we learn some lessons that stick and we're able to pull out of the go-to. We'd hope. So I think that's my hope for him. It's not easy, but that was my hope. And writing that, I think, and I think I just recently wrote something about them. I want to go back and write. I'll always go back to them and write something, but I don't know when. But they're always an open story to me, just like seeing where they're at and time stamping and all that other stuff.
And as well, like it's not a Mary Sue story. It's not a true self-insert, but Julie is based heavily on Sandra.
Oh yeah, when I wrote it, I was like, what would I do?
And Sandra will deny this, but Sandra is also disgustingly well adjusted. It's fucking gross. She like handles conflicts with like
not
conversation,
all the time,
not all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time,
no.
but like more often than not. Like absolutely more often than not. Sandra is able to be like objective about things, and she's reasonable, and she talks things through, and she's able to go, I can only control the things that I can control. And she genuinely fucking means it. It's disgusting. It's so gross. Excuse me, can you have explosive temper tantrums like the rest of us, please?
Oh, you just have to live with me, and then you'd get them. You'd get them more often. You've heard about my temper tantrums, so you know.
I have heard about
that
it.
they do come in.
I've been on the
Ted has
receiving
told you.
end.
Yes.
I've been on the receiving end of Sandra's temper, and it is a sight to behold. Let me tell you, I was left kind of like, I don't want to say cowering in my chair, but like cringing in my chair a little bit, going, okay, we could just, we don't have to talk about this anymore. Nope, no, that's fine. Yep.
So ideally, that's what we strive for. Ideally, that's what we strive for. It doesn't always happen, but that's ideal. So like I said, after we went through ours and we asked, we're going to include some of the stuff. We're going to include all of the fics that we got from Discord, because people were finally like, we couldn't shut the floodgates then at a certain point once we opened it up. But were there any that when you were looking at in the recs that like you've read, or see, this is the thing, knowing how what you gravitate towards? I would think not. So
there were recs that were given directly in Discord, and then there's the Google form recs, and I skimmed through, like, again, that was deliberate because we weren't gonna be like picking any of those out. We were just like, hey, these are recs. Yeah. But none of them were familiar to me that I've read. And again, it's not like I'm like, it's not like amnesia where I'm like, nope, fuck no. But it's just not something that naturally comes up very often in what I read.
And it's across the ratings are all over the place. The ships are all over the place. There's Destiel, there's Winchester, there's multi-shipping, there's reader insert, there's Gen, there's just anything you could probably, RPF, I think you could probably think people have given
there'll be a hurt comfort for it,
suggestions in there for it. So again, we got stuff from Laylee, we got stuff from Chevrolet Dean, Edge of Clairvoyance, Mass, JDL, Jinkies, Sal, and then we got a bunch from Killabees, which we included in the doc. Kasey was lovely and transcribed them in there. So we'll let you guys have at the suggestions, the recs, and I'm hoping we've made it a little bit clear in the fact that it's so broad.
Yeah,
probably.
I think basically what we did is went, this is fucking massive. We can't pin it down, lads. Sorry, Crowley's Mistress.
But I bet you if Crowley's Mistress went back with that little bit of information and looked at some of her writings, I bet you she'd be like, maybe like big H, little c, or maybe hurt, or like under those, different umbrellas or little like components or like subgenres. I bet you've written this, you just don't realize it. It just hasn't come out because, again, if you think her comfort, like me, if you think broadly, there's got to be a payoff. So I'm thinking hurt, payoff is the comfort, but that's not necessarily the thing.
It's not always the case.
Not always the case. So
that's the case. So I think this might be the first thing. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm ambivalent about this one.
Okay.
It's not a hard pass. Certainly, I'm not like this is not amnesia or anything like that. But again, it's not something that I would deliberately search out. It's just it occurs in some fics that I read. It occurs a hell of a lot more in fics that I don't read. But I have no strong feelings on it either way.
I think I like myself emotional hurt comfort. I think that's what I like. Like if I had to pick something out of this,
I think if I had to pick something, I far prefer to write physical comfort, and I quite like reading that as well, because I think there's a lot of scope there. If someone's got a broken leg, they gets to order something around, whatever. Emotional hurt comfort is difficult to untangle. Cough, Jinky's cough, not Jinky's fucking hell. No, Jackie, I'm sorry, you're safe. Cough, Junkies cough. Yeah, it's gnarly, it's messy, it's complicated. But I mean, you have friends that say there is no comfort in that story. That is exclusively hurt. We're still waiting for the comfort, which is
So again, the payoff we're hoping is coming at some point. We're patiently waiting. We're patiently waiting for the payoff. But yeah, I think that again, I thank everybody for voting on this one. It would not have been a go-to that I would have picked. So the fact that you guys picked that, but magical healing cock might be on the horizon. So stay tuned for that one, because I just feel like that's a thing that
I feel like that would be fun. Yeah.
we've talked about that enough, but there's a couple others that I've also been wanting to talk about and discuss, and we might have another Discord option, for people to pick in the future, but we'll probably get through a couple more of the ones on our list first. But yeah, so I think we're going to wrap this one up because it's been a long day, but we want to know your thoughts on this. So let us know if Hurt Comfort, if you've written it, if you like to read it. If you do, where do you fall in the scale of Hurt Comfort?
If you have any strong feelings about what constitutes Hurt Comfort,
got so many options. Let us know. You can email us at idlinginttheimpala@gmail.com. You can comment on Spotify in the Q&A section. You can leave a YouTube comment. You can join our Discord and chat with fellow idlers and us in real time, and you can wreck stuff. You can check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlinginttheimpala.com. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider joining us on Ko-fi for as little as $1 a month. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers, and we'd love to have you along for the ride.
Speaking of perks, we've got special shout-outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From our Shotgun Picks the Music tier, we have Runaway Dreamer, Crowley's Mistress, Sam and Dean 76, Elia, and Charlie. Thanks for picking the tunes in the car and keeping the lights on in the bunker. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Don't forget, you can support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithms. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So for me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And of course, the main causes that we are always highlighting, spotlighting, championing are World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, what they mean to us, check out idlinginttheimpala.com. There's a page there called Cause is Cause with all the details. So with that, we will say thank you for joining us in the back seat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.